product is the one that you were supposed to take into consideration. Okay. So what I mentioned here, the phase here that we're going to discuss here is what, how you want to get into your product or its service or whatever process into a market, goes to the market. Okay. So that is the topic today, and which of course I will talk is using as usual the slide that I have prepared. Yeah, I have here. So let's see. Let's see what we're supposed to discuss today. So the commercialization of new technology, new technology-based product or service. What I mean product, it also covers service or even process. Okay. Okay, let's talk about okay. Goes to the okay, I go to the slide first. So while you are waiting, okay. Alright, commercialization and yeah, can back. Yes, sir. Sorry. Okay, wait for a moment. Okay, I use the window. Okay, share this topic with you. Okay, everybody can see, yeah?
Boleh.
Okay, right. So, alright, you can see, and this is topic. So, no problem. So, dia masuk ni. Wait. Ambil asraf. No. Okay, so let's talk about commercialization of new technology-based product. Okay. Okay, dan ada yang masukkan.
Mute.
Mike.
Okay. Janganlah apa. Ya, kalau dia orang masuk keluar sekali. Nak mana? Ya. Okay. So tadi ada masuk sorry lah. Alright. So okay. Dah ada suara tak? Tak mute Okay, alright. Okay. So as you all know, of course, the word technology that supposed to be commercialized, we are referring to the products, physical product or services, and even all processes. So any one of you, I don't know whether you just come up with a new product or new services or whether. So that is the one that we're going to discuss. So And you know, of course, the output developed from your innovative activities that normally typically take place in what R&D, research and development. You come up with a new technology-based product, okay, and should be proud of it. So, of course, research and the R&D, research and development activities that take place in normally in university lah, in our place at UITM level, even at a research institute and university. It can be places that like SIRIM, MARTI, or else, PORIM, RRI, all of those agencies belong to government. Even those agencies belong to private sectors. They keep on developing or researching, developing and researching the new product. Okay. So the future of our Malaysian technology industry is very much dependent on dependent on locally developed technology base. So meaning that we cannot rely on those imported technology if we want to progress. So that's why at one time the government there has a policy. Even I do not check right now. There's a policy and program involved to encourage the proliferation in order. That's why in order for our country to grow, to sustain further. So that's why the success of homegrown technology. So I get that the future of Malaysian technology-based industry is very much dependent on locally developed technology-based ventures. We cannot belittle that we cannot do, but there are people who keep on developing. They know the opportunity there. So the success of growing technology-based venture is determined by how strong or the strength or how efficient our R&D. So because when we talk about what we call it, getting the output already, it's not just simply you come up with the technology, but of course how strong and how efficient our part in commercializing our output, which is of course the R&D or your innovation. And of course, not enough with that to ensure the successful of our homegrown technology. They must come with the enforcement of intellectual property. Yeah, is there any enforcement in accounting? I think we have discussed there is. It covers a lot. The IP or intellectual property in our country, so other country. So except for those are ignorant, ignorant do not know about this. How important is intellectual property? But to you, I'm sure you know how you can utilize or make use of this IP, intellectual property law in our country. Okay. So the backbone of technology, entrepreneurship and development is innovation, and we know that, and the technology adoption capacity of the potential, how we adopt the technology. So there is another part. Okay. So the products of R&D will not generate any. I mentioned that. So if we just simply produce or come up with a product through our R&D, research and development, it will not generate revenue unless they are successfully commercialized. That is another part. I'm sure there is logic. It's logic and it makes sense. So what do you mean by what is commercialization of R&D? R&D or your innovation refers to the efforts taken. It refers to the effort taken to introduce new technology-based product or service or whatever to the market, and with the aim of course gaining commercial return, to gain money. So the commercial value, how valuable is your research? It depends or is measured by the contribution of your finding or user finding to the development of new process or product. People may come and be, but there is not something that certain research is not applied research. It's only for academic research, but doesn't mean anything to contribute to the development of new product. But there are research which is of course today people, the government stress or other people, something research can be applied. Applied research. There is a helpful or very important to the development of new product or new services or new process. So meaning that when someone want to do research, they have to ensure that the research have a commercial value. Okay, and like in your case, maybe at moment before if you do your research or you have the project under your research and development, something that is research is of value of the product that you develop. Okay, all right. The commercial value of research is measured by contribution of the development of the product. Okay, in fact, like I mentioned before, the value of product is worth why if they be able to take your research or R&D output to the market. There are two main channels. There are main uh, two main approaches. Normally, that typically through which research funding to be brought to the market. Uh, One is they use the traditional approach. That one is, I think, we as a user today also benefit from this, but the user, but not but the researcher. The researcher maybe they benefit from two other means, other point. Okay, one approach which research finding could be brought to the market for that people can benefit it or other people can benefit it is what through disseminating innovation freely through academic publication. So this is the traditional approach, which means that innovation is freely disseminated through academic publication. That's why it happen if you like most, or you can get through the journal and proceeding of research conference. There are so many research that is available. It's available, or research available that people can utilize it, or you can use it and imitate. In fact, to the extent they imitate this innovation, because like for example, we talk about the technology about RFID. I have read someone has read through there are articles about it before, and they explain detail about this technology. But someone who read law or they can access to this free information, they can make use and come up with a new product using that technology. Still, because we know that in reality, especially at university level, before long time ago, there are people who are very keen to do research, and of course they want to publish their research, especially among those academicians. When they want to be promoted, actually they don't care about others aspect of getting money, and they are concerned about disseminating knowledge to the others people and get credit for it. So in that kind of people, someone of course who are more entrepreneurial, maybe they get the information freely from those information disseminated from their publication, like academic publication. I think that is one. But this approach, of course, we know that doesn't promise maximum benefit to the researcher or the innovator. Innovator. So, so in the long run, this approach contribute no return at all, no financial return to innovator, and in the long run, this approach may discourage the proliferation of potential innovation. Uh, but I think people do have those research there. As we learned before through our discussion about intellectual property, even though you disseminate them, but there is still way for you to get IP for those what we call it information which is disseminated freely. Okay, that is one approach or one what we call it one channel through which research funding could be brought to the market. The second channel, of course, allowing those if you are the researcher, you are the innovator, to monopolize the benefit of R&D, your research and development, in the form of IP, intellectual properties. So in that case, of course, you have to go, if certain product visible, maybe you have to go for patent, and with that, of course, you can benefit. And that is the part that we're going to discuss. In the form, when you have the IP, and you're going to make sure and commercialize those IP, intellectual property. Okay, okay, that is what how you can do this. Okay. The next part, so now it's time for you to benefit the most of the product that been developed by this innovator. So, all right. In practice, and we know that there has been a continued trend commercialization for a number of years. People realize that how valuable is what we call it what we call its output or R&D, and so the option now that we're going to discuss is to commercialize R&D. So we choose here to discuss the second option, second channel, to commercialize R&D. Okay, so but as mentioned here, IP monopoly could only be enjoyed for only when we talk about to monopolize the IP. It doesn't take longer period. It only a very short, because we mentioned last time in Malaysia. In the case of in Malaysia, the Patent Act that govern the what we call the exclusive right of those innovation, and it granted the innovator for an exclusive right for how long, and to utilize or sell the patent for only a limited time, period of 20 years. 20 years. So the economic challenge and reward for the continuous improvement in product process or technique obviously will outweigh the negative impact of temporary monopoly enjoyed by innovators. However, of course, having ownership right and definitely might intimidate the researcher involved in the process of bringing research to the market. So I mean, in that process, later on, maybe in this process, as a researcher, there might be ventures into technology-based ventures. Okay, but anyhow, in general, typically, normally the natural sequence within the process, there has been what we call it a continuous trend commercialization for a number of years, I say. But there are 5 options. If you want to commercialize R&D and those, researcher, there are 5 options, 5 ways to commercialize. And we're going to go through one by one the approach. Okay. And the first one, outright sale of the R&D output. You have the output, so you go for outright sale before you secure the IP. Okay, we're talking before secure. I mean before you get approval, apply for the IP. Okay, but that is the first approach. You have first choice to do that. If not, you can go to other 4 options. Well, second one is what to get into licensing agreement. Licensing agreement with established private organization after secure IP. Okay, we're going to talk about this. Okay, and the third one can be to get into resignation agreement with buyer. Okay, and of course the fourth one spin off, because we talked about what is spin off, and the fifth one here is spin out. Okay, of course it's not going to be in order, but there are cases they are going to combine everything. But this is the typical option. Normally, they use the researchers or the innovators or techno-entrepreneur option to commercialize the R&D. Okay, the first option, which is this what we call it the diagram. These figures that we can visualize how the pattern, the typical. It can be other pattern, but this is the typical pattern, commercialized pattern of R&D. And as mentioned, the first one, you can see that but at the extreme case, it can be straight away outright sale of the research product before you secure anything. If you get the IP, in this case, a patent, you get the patent, you apply it, you get the patent, then you have another 5 choices or 5 options to go. One is what resignation agreement. Uh, with a agreement established with a private sector organization. And the second one is what licensing agreement. Not the agreement, possibly it can be have a license agreement, with those established organization, private sector organization. Or you can be entrepreneur by yourself, by go for spin off, and other is spin out. We're going to go one by one, obviously. And of course, after this, you have done this part to commercialize, then the idea of how to produce and to sell the product into the market. Okay. Okay. The first option, first choice for you to commercialize your product R&D is what outright sale of the R&D output. So as a researcher, you may decide to sell everything that you have R&D output. Before you apply for patent rights. For what reason? There are so many reasons. Among the reasons that we can talk here, you can think about it. Is what normally when we go through very deep about the cost of developing or secure to get a patent is going to be much higher. So instead of going to go for application, you can reduce the cost much, and even to the extent to avoid those costs. Cost means what? Cost to secure patent rights is higher than the product potential value. Possibly, if that is the case, of course, you gain less. Because we are talking about benefit, it should be more than the cost involved. Okay, that is always the ideas or anything you to do in real life. In real life, when we talk about what we call it, getting benefits, so it's always you have to make a judgment that the cost should be higher than but in the case that the cost is higher than what the values be, so certain company or certain researcher it might simply they decide to go or to sell their R&D output before applying for patents. Okay. So because the second the second reason it may be what the new technology-based product is competing with the promises of the product. Okay? So you come up with a technology, but it's not necessarily the same technology. But of course, there's possibility that your technology have a substitution for other those developed technology which is it's already matured, or maybe they're going to face another substitution stage. So in that case, instead of going to compete or to rival with those other competitors, so might as well those technology decide to sell the R&D. If you wait for it, and naturally we learn the cycle. The cycle is already facing the mature stage or the substantive. Maybe the risk is going to be higher. Okay, so instead of getting nothing, then go outright sale. The risk is getting something. Okay, and high market development cost. Normally, if you want to market, there is cost involved. The market is not yet. Because as you know, of course, if the product is new in the market, there are costs involved, especially to introduce the market, get people know about the product. It's not that easy. So high market development costs required. So because the market is not yet ready for the product. And last one, might think about the reason, but not the least, of course, to avoid the hassles associated with patent. Of course, there are lawyers involved, like I mentioned before. We can engage the lawyer or agent to apply for, but the cost involved is a lot. but still can be done that way. But those who want to go through all those hassle, normally they go for this choice. Okay. What if okay, we already discussed the first one. The first choice, that means it's an outright sale of the R&D output. Okay. If this happening around, keep on happening because there are people prefer to do this. But especially for those very innovative people, they keep on innovate new product and they sell it, their idea or their and coming out with new one. There is normally that's kind of to me in terms of entrepreneurship. We used to call it a serial entrepreneur. Serial entrepreneur. There are people or serial innovator, serial innovator. I used to coin the word serial innovator. That means they keep on innovating something new and but of course they get benefit of this by outright sale of their output or product. Okay, let's go to the second option. Okay, this second option, if you look about the figures that I show you, coming next, coming next. I mean after this set the fourth, the for what you call it option here. It refer to those what after you get the you get the pattern. They get the pattern. They get you get the IP, intellectual property right. So the first one here we talk about here. You can choose to go for licensing a patent. How you go about by licensing? So licensing patent to what? To an established organization. Normally this what we apply. We used to hear that there are big company like what Sandabi, they get a license from if they're involved in a car industry, automobile industry, they get license from Hyundai, they got license from maybe the license to produce the product in our country, to assemble the product like they have. I think we see there are cars by Korean, like Hyundai, whatever, how do you, I don't know. That they produced in our country with the licensing. Okay. So licensing a patent to an established business organization is considered as one of the most viable means of commercializing a new technology-based product. You can make it. Of course, there's money, but when you license, of course, there's a value you have to pay. So, okay, in this, there's a agreement. Definitely, there is agreement between two parties, which of course the first party is what is a licensor. There is a what law terminology licensor, meaning that a patent holder who license patent is known as what the licensor. And why the person or the organization, why person, it can be organization, to whom the patent is licensed, we call it the licensee. It's called licensee. So meaning that when we talk about there is agreement between the party, there must be a licensor, which is of course we refer to the patent holder who licensed the patent, and there must be a licensee, and the licensee is what the person to whom the patent is licensed. Okay, then the agreement is there. Of course, it's easy to assess what kind of those what the example of licensing agreement between two parties. So the important is when a patent is licensed, when you get a license, let's say, a patent is licensed to a licensee. A licensee, they mean let's say like Hyundai. Like Hyundai is supposed to be what the license and Tandabi, the one who get the license is a licensee. So when a patent is licensed to your licensee, let's say Hyundai licensee to Tandabi, licensee is given the right. So Tandabi get the right. What right? They call it the exploitation right. So having the right means that the right to create. So like for example is the right to create, to market, and sell something based on what the patent protects. Okay. So in that case, they create. I mean, it can be creating or it can be assemble, whatever. A market and sell something based on what the patent protects. Okay, ada yang masuk. I have to go. Okay, sorry, interrupt sekejap. Nuzu ID lambat Okay. Okay. So so what is important, of course, the right to exploit But the exploit here, it means that to create, to market, and to sell something based on what the patent protects. So as we know, if we cannot simply use other people IP rights, so we have to get the, in the case we get the license. Okay, or those, or meaning that the licensee should get the what you call license for this licensor. Okay. So in return, the licensor, so I mean, being the owner of this IP, in the owner of IP, the licensor will expect financial return in the form of royalties. We know that normally when there's agreement, there's a term to be applied, the royalties from the licensee. So a patent license basically is it's a legal contract. Legally, it's a legal contract that very clearly spell out the term and condition. For example, in under the license agreement, we can check. Yeah, there is a spell out clearly the area exploitation allowed by the licensing agreement. Okay. Let's say we talk about contoh the Hyundai, and of course they give a license to Sanjabi. What are the area of space allowed by the licensing agreement? Okay. See, with your license, you can, let's say, in terms of what coverage of the market, maybe one of the area they talk about the coverage of market. You cannot sell this product to other country only beside Malaysia. So that may be the area. Or you allowed to make what modification of our product in certain cosmetic, whatever lah. So there's a lot of to be spelled out lah. But there is area of specification allowed by the agreement. Maknanya you are not given the freedom to do so. Unless you spell out clearly there is a freedom. But normally it's not. It's not it. Because they want you have to use the what we call it, the brand name instead of changing totally your own name. There is the area of specification allowed by the licensing. There's a there's not much room for you to exploit totally about the product that be licensed. Okay. Performance. Okay, another example here. Talk about here. What are the terms and conditions that normally include in the what I call it licensing agreement? Performance obligation demanded by the licensor. Licensor we talk about is the contoh saya bagi about the Hyundai and Dabi. Performance obligation demanded by the licensor over the licensee in order to ascertain consistent financial return. It can be like example. Okay. Normally, the idea of doing business, of course, to get product sold. I mean, there's if there is no more demand or there is more sale, of course, more return will be to the licensor. So maybe this what under license there's what certain targeted amount or volume that should be what you call it achieved by those licensee. Okay, let's say the top. Okay, in Malaysia you should sell at least this amount. There is a case in Malaysia what happen. If the company do not perform and according to the agreement, there is what I call it performance. Maybe later on there's license will be reward, or maybe then they will take back the license and of course those company like our contoh Nabi can no longer do the business or sell the new product. Okay, so performance obligation demanded by licensor over the licensee in order to ascertain financial return. You have to ensure lah to the performance your key performance organization as being agreed by both parties. Okay. And of course, most important is the amount and the frequency of royalties to be paid by the licensee. So, how much you have to pay and how frequent the royalties to be paid by the licensee. Some maybe pay as you sell the product because with the new technology. Normally, if you sell the product, they get the money for it, or if we have come up with a different term, or get to pay those royalties to the licensor. See. In this context, even under licensing agreement, the license is revocable. Can be revoked or cancelable anytime. Anything in terms of if the term and conditions are not met. Let's say we talk about doesn't meet, and the performance regulation doesn't permit what as expected, and amount of frequency do not follow as agreed. So in fact, the licensor have the right to revoke or to cancel it. So there is what the dangers of it. But for those performer company or the company that would perform normally, they are not afraid of it. They can do that. Okay. But there are cases in Malaysia, certain company which of course they get a license from one company. They are no longer doing that. For the license, they have those licensors have the right to give a license with other parties. Okay. Okay, that is a first option after you have what or secure the patent. Okay, which is of course referring licensing agreement patent between two parties. Okay. Okay, another the choice beside this. So the next option to commercialize your what you call it your product, your service that after you secure the patent is what patent designation. Patent designation is irrevocable. Remember when we talk about license is revocable, can easily be revoked, but patent designation is irrevocable and easily can be revoked. We can cancel. It's not. If people go on also doing something without their right, of course they'll be legally against the law. Okay. All right. It's an irrevocable expression right given by assigner to an assignee. Like before we have two parties, they call it licensor and licensee. But when we go for this second choice, they call it patent assignation, which is of course they also two party. The first party will refer to the assigner, and the second one assignee. The assigner refer to the original patent holder. Like case, let's say, take the case of Signer B as licensor. Now they go for the second option. So not Hyundai. Hyundai is now the assigner, refer to the original patent holder, and the assignee is one who received the assignment. The one who received the assignment of the patent. Okay. Of course, not much different, but there is a difference between designation, and versus licensing. So designation is not like licensing. Designation entails the sale. They're going to sell the outright. Remember, we have the outright first choice to go. But in the case after what you get the what you apply or get the IP, you can go for the outright also. But this one is termed as designation. Designation entails the sale or outright transfer of patent by assigner to the assignee. Sama macam outright saya tadi, tapi that one is before secure IP. But after you secure IP, you can go for what we call it outright sale or outright transfer of patent by designation to the assigner. Macam outright sale ni, you get money in lump sum tu sekaligus je lah. Or maybe whatever term dia, tu selalunya gitulah outright ni straight away. You get it money in lump sum or in one shot. Okay. So designation is short if an irrevocable expression right is needed by the parties. Like let's say Sandabi, you go for this. They say they feel not secure by having licensing because anytime the licensor like case you can easily cancel or any. But if they feel secure, they can go for this designation patent execution agreement, another agreement, so we call it designation agreement, agreement, because they are afraid of this, easily can be cancelled or can be revoked. Okay, designation is if an irrevocable expression is needed by the parties involved. Okay. The disadvantage of patent initial assignment is that when assignee fail to pay royalties, if the agreed, let's say assignee fail to pay royalties, this will not revoke the rights that already assigned to the buyers. And then you have the right to assemble under this patent execution what you call it, agreement. And of course, the advantage to the assignee, and of course the disadvantage, meaning they cannot easily revoke the rights already given. What right? I mean, whatever right is spelled out, like right to produce, to assemble, or to market, or to sell the product, okay, uh, of the IP lah, intellectual property. Okay. As you can see, what's important is if you want to sell or to determine certain the value of patent, how you go about, how you determine the value of the patent. So that is another part which is very important for you want to go, because the money, what is the money that you can get. Okay, determining the monetary value of the patent is very important because it helps the patent holder to determine the right. So we are talking about the right value to sell the patent to assignee. Remember that when you want to go for the second option, after you secure, you want to sell your patent to assignee. So you have to decide how much you want to sell. So that is another aspect you have to do that. Okay. Even you want to pay royalties under licensing agreement. So how much you want to determine the value that you want to charge them the royalties for the patent licensing. Okay. So how much patent is worth? Ini what expect. So at least there's a certain guideline here. Maybe you can read through others. Sekarang khusus ni guideline lah. Maybe we have to consider certain aspect here. So how much a patent is worth depends on the among banyak factors. Okay, among the pertinent factors, peculiar patent is one. The size of the potential market. Ini how you value. Because of course, logically, if the market is big and not compared to very small market, and I mean the patent should be expensive. I mean, you may use this criteria of pertinent to use the size to determine the size, to determine the value of the patent. So logically, if the market is big, they can benefit more from the patent. Then of course the value is more. Okay. And of course, the value of comparable patents. You have to be more sensitive or in the know of those other patents that exist. And because you have a choice, your child, let's say, we talk about to deal with the business of around kids dan gabi. Okay, you it may talk about get patents from the Hyundai, tapi mungkin there's other automobile manufacturers that you can go and search from, like say from Kia or whatever it is. So you may have to talk about the value of comparable patents from others. Because you want to buy something, let's say the analogy, if you want to buy something, of course those buyer have they can go and make a comparison from the others. Others is talk about product, but here we talk about patents. So from that means maybe as a what we call it owner of the patent, the standard of your patents, and of course with that you can set certain value of the patent. Okay. And the third one, when you want to determine the value of the patent, apa lagi dia punya? We talk about the validity of the patent. So validity, we talk about validity. Remember when we talk about those patents can be patented, you have to make sure what there's certain issue. That's why when we discuss the IP, when we want to patent something, make sure you ensure that the patent is valid. What do you mean by valid? The patent is valid. Okay. So validity of valid. the risk of the promoted patent to be invalid if the inventor does not meet the statutory requirement. I mean, the government have certain regulation or regulatory to obtain the patent. Example, they were not inventors. That is not valid. It happens that you want to determine high value, but actually you are not really but you not the inventors. The value is going to be very cheap. It's going, but because you are the inventors and the product is of course from your original invention, definitely because there is still new. Because why did it be new? It has not been published information like your product has not been published information about the invention before. So meaning that there is value is going to be expensive. Otherwise, if like before, maybe patent will be rejected. But tapi kalau dah lulus, tapi still you know the truth is that there is not have been published information about the invention before. That means the value of it is no longer new. Or even it's turned out to be invalid if you have the patent offered the invention for sale before the date of application, dijual before the date of application. That means it's no longer have the IP right that offer invention for sale before the date of application. People should see dia punya the detail of this to know about the value of the patent, and especially on the part of the owner of the patent. Okay. The fourth one, the fourth about what value of the patent, determine if the patent overlap or not with other patents. No, we talk about is it overlap in terms of what? The higher the probability that a patent may overlap with another, overlap, no. The lower the value of that particular, if possible that is going to be overlap with the other patent, the patent, existing patent. That means it can be priced highly. It can, the value must be comparable, or maybe lower than, because there is idea even idea like product. We want to go for the product which is already there, and it seems to overlap or more or less the same. That means you cannot get more price for it, more value for it. Okay. And the fifth one here, you have to consider when you want to value a patent, assess how much it costs for someone to use the next best patent instead of buying or subscribing license of your patent. How much it costs? How much it costs for someone to use the next best patent instead. So there's possibility people go and compare to use what's the next best patent instead of buying your license of your patent. You have your patent, but people may have go and survey and find out what are the next patent. If you don't take your patent, they have a choice to go out about to use other next best patent around the industry or the product that you want to sell your patent. So you have to consider that. So when they make a comparison and they study it, of course it looks that it is competitive. Then of course there'll be at least you have a certain mark that to determine the value of patent. And for other reason, determine the reason for selling or licensing the patent. There must be other reason for you to sell or really. Some others who prefer to get the money very fast, or who not going to go further doing whatever they have. There must be so many reasons. The reason for selling or licensing the patent. Some of this they go and sell the patent because in order for them to benefit of their patent, to get more money, they have to go for this. There are so many reasons you can think of why you have to go for sell or even license the patent. There must be a reason. You can discuss kalau ada we can try. There are many reasons. Okay, anyone can post reason tak? Bisa ni. Saja in between. Ada sebab tak? Why someone want to sell or licensing the patent? Selain daripada reason. Ada sebab tak? Ada sebab tak? Mungkin setengah tu dah tua kot. Atau faktor kesihatan kot. Apa lagi? So many things. They need money very fast kot. Macam-macam. Or they want to expand, grow business very fast. So there must so many reason. Kalau saya nak tulis, kalau saya mengajar kelas dulu, saya tulis right board lah. Ada 2 grup, saya buat tulis panjang lah. There must be so many reason that you can think of. Or you may have means specific reason lah for selling or licensing the patent. Okay. Alright. So I think that's one part we finish about the two option. After secure, sebenarnya dah 3 option dah, but one option before secure IP. After secure, we go to the two option to commercialize product by what we call licensing and by signing. Okay. The third one under commercialization after getting the IP, or the fourth option or choices for you to commercialize your product, technology product, is what they call it spin off. So spin off. Apa itu spin off ni? Okay, what is spin off? Okay, spin off into a new venture. Is alternative, beside you opt for licensing or exhibition, innovator may choose to commercialize its invention through creation of new technology. This is the truth about the technology entrepreneurship. But the what we call it, the innovator itself, in this context, the innovator or dalam kumpulan you semua lah, kalau ramai-ramai, become the technopreneur lah. They may assume the role of entrepreneur, because this is the real about the product that involved directly as entrepreneur, as technopreneur, by creating new ventures. And spin off ni maknanya you have your own patent, your IP right, and then you create a new ventures from within an established organization like university or company. Okay, let's say katakanlah you kat UiTM, you create something, within ITM, and then of course you get involved directly with this new company. And we have seen there are company yang strongly believe in this spin off, and the company that they call it entrepreneurial atmosphere in the country by having the product being exploited by the people involved. So what is the new trend of today's? In certain organization, it's not surprise. Before that, these people in organization is an employee. Nowadays, after they involved in what we call it, developing the product, and they begin a chance to exploit the product or the right that they get it to start a new business, a new ventures. Ini kita kata. So selalunya kalau bahasa lain dia panggil instant entrepreneur, or they call it kalau dalam organisasi dia panggil corporate entrepreneur. Tapi dalam konteks produk ni kita panggil teknologi entrepreneur lah. Corporate entrepreneur, ataupun bahasa kadang dia panggil that what I expect. Bahasa lain dia panggil intrapreneur dalam organisasi. Tapi spin off ni maknanya apa? They create new business from within an established organization. Kalau kita create new business, instead of become an employee, this people is no longer an employee or researcher in organization. They become the technopreneur within the established organization. Benda tu berlaku. Itu setengah company they have entrepreneur yang dia ada strong belief in this lah. Okay. Itu dia punya spin off. Okay. In venturing this spin off, the technology employee exploit the patent right he has secured. In venturing into the spin off company, the entrepreneur inside exploit the patent rights he has secured. So, okay, let's say, normally if you want to start the business, you don't have the, what we call it, the resources, the more resources. So, by tie up or maybe being linked with a organization, those established organization. That means you may have got get the full the support. You have the supporting, you get the support. So prior to venturing into new technology-based business, entrepreneur like for any other business, so it's going to be a normal way as entrepreneur if they want to start a new technology-based business like others entrepreneur activity, they have to develop a business plan. On your case, at least blueprint tadi, technology blueprint, and determine financial requirements and seek sources of financing. So again, you play the role also as a normal entrepreneur, and they may term you as an entrepreneur or they may term you as a corporate entrepreneur. But what it is, when we talk about the technology entrepreneur, the word entrepreneur is there. Okay, right? So spin off, which is should be normally there is one of the way lah. One way to start if you have the limited resources, spin off into new ventures. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, after someone opt for spin off, then there's another alternative for you to go about okay, by going for spin lawan for spin ada spin out. So what's the difference between spin out and that? You still the spin out still belongs to the company that you are in. Like mentioned, if you are in university, you still belong to it, and of course you get full support lah. Or if you are in the company, you still partly belongs to the company, but of course you work on your own, on your own. There's a choice here. There's a choice here. Instead, go for this spin out. To commercialize, you can opt for another action. Action is what? Spin out. So it's like spin out. What you call it? It looks like you are still depending on the organization that you are in. You are in, or you get the you are in. But here in the case is you are totally independent. So what is spin out? Go out lah. Meaning out instead of inside lah, offline. You go out of the company. Okay. Besides venturing from within, so what is it here? Besides venturing from within the established R&D institution or university, there is spin. When we talk about spin, maknanya you venture into business, tapi still within the established R&D institution, or universities or established business organization. So the innovators may have the option to leave. Okay, go out, leave the parent organization, establish independent, and of course establish an independent. This spin out. So familiar lah term ni. In your business term, spin out, spin off, a licensing agreement dan segala. Okay, may have the option to leave the parent company, the parent organization, and establish independent new ventures to commercialize the patent you own. In this context, the innovator assume the role of the entrepreneur by creating a new venture independently. Biasanya tadi dependently, now independently. Similar to spin-off venture, in the spin-out venture, the entrepreneur inside exploit the patent rights. He has secured and needs to develop a business plan. Ataupun blueprint adalah. Plan prior to venturing into the new ventures. Okay. What makes the difference? In the case of spin-out ventures, the company has to bear the risk of new venture alone. The risk is there lah. So if you are alone, I mean, definitely the risk is much higher to compare when you are in a, in the organization, organization, the parent organization, whatever lah, parent organization. So there is a risk that involved. Okay? Whichever, it depends on the end, it depends on the opportunity. Okay. Okay. In any business, there is always risk involved. We keep on mentioning always involved. We talk about any ventures. Same like the technology based business. Okay. 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 Basically, when we want to go for spin off or we want to spin out, that means to create new ventures. The entrepreneur faces the following risks. What are the risks? Since this is technology project, the first one is technology risk, technology uncertainty. The technology and uncertainty. Okay, we talk about what is technology and uncertainty. Okay, okay. The second, of course, strategic uncertainty and uncertainty in first-time buyers. Ini boleh ambil kira whatever. So when you develop technology, that means the technology, because the technology, why the technology uncertainty is there? Because any technology, always they are associated with what? With order winning configuration to determine. So when you want to develop technology, someone, of course, they know that they have to determine the order winning configuration. Apa makna order winning configuration? Anyone know? What do you mean by order winning configuration? Order winning configuration. Product configuration kita tahu lah. Okay, ada word order. Apa yang faham tentang order? When people buy, when customer want something, of course, what you expect? The product is no longer risk. When people order your product, order tu pesan lah kan, orang beli lah. Okay, winning tak cukup lah, winning product lah. Satu word, winning product conversion. That means the product that people buy is what? Something that product meet the criteria lah, needs apa ni. So the technology wise, when you develop something that really that makes people at the end order your product. What make people order product? I think mana order winning product. That means the configuration after you said is something that really minimize the technology that really meet those customers punya needs and want. Itu yang kata order winning product configuration. Mana configuration, mana something that is yang kita fikir bincang lah, something that unique idea, something that really make people have temptation or even desire to buy your product, desire or even take action to buy product. That's order winning. And all the speculation of product configuration that make people that make you win the order from the customer. Itu order winning configuration. This term ni ada orang yang term ni tak ingat tahun bila. Order winning configuration. Ini satu je boleh browse through dalam internet, tapi dia ada lagi dia punya makna. Tapi order winning product configuration ataupun order winners. Yang menang order winners ni soalah customer yang menang, tapi at the same time you also won lah because you already made those order winning product configuration. That is a risk. Kalau entity is something yang ini, tu dah whatever technology you come up, something that does not make this, tak guna. People, you cannot win. You cannot win the heart or what the people wants it, or you cannot delight the customer. Tak boleh. The technology one, you cannot delight it, delight the customer. Boleh semua dengar tak? Faham tak ni? Hello?
Faham.
Faham kan? Order winning product configuration. Kalau kita tak consider ni, the technology why is going to be uncertain. Okay. So we already at least assure ni that maybe okay. The second part the most efficient production technology. The most efficient production, because what people expect, the technology whatever today is going to be much efficient kan. Because you don't expect benda tu getting lower and lower. That's why dia orang keluar teknologi macam komputer tu very fast. Macam Intel buat one chip to another to the keep on come up with a new technology. Must be efficient and efficient. The risk of course the efficiency tu yang tu that's very not subjective, very objective to the people. We know how efficient about certain technology. Okay. The third one is what? The level of difficulty to level is itu juga asal thing because certain technology we may think about so many things, but it's not that easy to develop. Okay, you have to be realistic. You have to be smart enough to be realistic. Which technology, which of course that within your capacity that it can be developed. People talk about coming out with this. That's why certain technology, even that at lower level, but it is appropriate to certain target group. There is the risk not that very high. So because otherwise you come up with something and you cannot achieve it, you can excel it. That's very difficult to do. This is the risk of any. We talk about the risk of inventions about this technology and okay. The second risk of new venture is what? Of new venture, when we talk setting up or product or new ventures. Second one, we talk about strategy uncertainty, the risk. So we know the truth is what new product normally they are characterized by the absence of proven marketing strategy. When they have a new product, the strategy is going to be different. They different. I think kita pernah dengar how this what Steve Jobs to introduce the new product. It's not that they use a very simple approach with a press conference kind of presentation. If you see that how they introduce their new product, so they have a must have strategy of doing that. New product are created by excellent approach. We have to think there are many ways of it. We know they are product because they cannot use their old strategy. They have to come up with a strategy, which of course is unknown to others, but of course maybe you have to crack your mind, think about it, plan it. What are those strategies which of course realistic enough or proven to be or can ensure the success. Okay, so however need to utilize more resources in order to ensure success. We may see certain product very simple, but if they have the right strategy, maybe they cannot use that. So the risk of selling the product is there. The people will not buy the product. So we have talked about the strategic things. New product that's why are often characterized by the absence of proven marketing strategy. The strategy that is what we call it practical before. It's not necessary to be practical with a new product. It has to be different. It has to be different. Okay, another risk of new ventures here. Continue here. Uncertainty in first-time buyers. Customers of a new venture normally are first-time buyers. Okay, to be a new one in a business, definitely you have to look for the first-time buyers. Especially to buy new product. Okay, normally there is a case of whatever we have to find the first timer or maybe to the extent who are going to adopt your product, our new product. So that is very tough. Normally to get the initial purchase of the product from the first buyer is something is very tough compared to those already buy the product and you're going to ask them to buy a new developed product. It is much easier compared. Okay, so the marketing task to substitute what buyers used to purchase, that's very tough. That is the afternoon thing. The marketing task to substitute what the buyers used to purchase and to encourage these buyers to make initial payment. That's very tough. Very tough to do of a new product. This is I think. So in any business, whoever are already in this business, when they have the customer, make sure they keep on what they keep on. providing satisfactory or they give a one. They are supposed to keep on satisfied the existing customer, because it's easy to retain existing customer rather than to get the new buyers. New buyer is something it's very tough, and it's very especially when they ask them to buy those initial purchase. Any people used to forget about it. Okay. All right. Okay. What are the barriers to entry? So new ventures may face difficulty to establish entry into a particular industry. We know that it's a barrier, because so many books are very important to understand what are the barriers to. So a new venture may face difficulty to establish into a particular industry. Entry barriers. There are barriers that block someone to go into. Refer to what is entry barriers? Refer to the accessibility of new ventures into a particular industry. Factors that contribute to entry barriers. Factors to contribute to the entry barriers. Cost of adapting technology in the industries. Any barriers. Me think about go for the adapting or in other words, come up with a new technology, but the cost to it is very high. So for those who are already in the business before, maybe the cost is much lower because they are already big in business. There's economies of scale that when they get involved for so long, the cost already there. They are like someone that say if they need a machine, they have a machine already to develop a certain technology. They have people already, they don't have to engage or to employ those very expensive people. So the cost of the industry, we have to know that it is there's another factors may hinder or make the new company to enter certain industry. Okay, when you have a product, when you have a barrier to enter, there's a possibility that is in terms of accessibility to industry distribution. We know that there are ways to distribute or to sell the product. Some of those may sell directly. If there is another part which is easily can be done, okay, there is fine. But there are cases. There are many ways to distribute the product. People use so many channels. Some of the channels, I think, as you know, it can be direct or you use the intermediary. Contohnya ada orang jual je lah, channel dia jual barangnya melalui direct, okey lah yang macam kita kebanyakan there is a direct from customers to from business to customers. There is direct. There are cases, there are intermediary, ada orang tengah in between. That orang tengah is another important element. The business that is orang tengah. But sometimes if we cannot access, there's orang tengah tu. So maybe that is a barrier to enter. Kalau kita fikir in order for this, we have to sell, because not everything we can distribute directly. There are cases we have to distribute through several channels. Contohnya apa channel yang kita tengok di luar ni, ada orang jual melalui those retailers dengan peruncit. Retailing business maknanya peruncit ni mana ada orang lain lah yang beli barang dan kita berjual. There are those people that go through sellers, pemborong. There are others yang gunakan macam agent. There are people macam kalau saya nak buat rumah atau buat produk material untuk satu mungkin melalui agents or melalui so many things lah. I think you can think of there are so many channels. Tapi kalau kita think about it, we can access to the channel specifically in this industry. So there are cases that we can sell the product. So imagine there are cases that orang ada produk tapi they cannot access, they cannot go, they can access to the channels. The channel is meant for selling the product. then the chances, of course, they're going to be fail, and they're going to fail in this business. Okay, ada lain punya factors that contribute to the entry barriers. Access to raw material. Kalau kita produk that need material ataupun information, whatever, not material. Material can be physical material, it can be other those non-material, non-physical material. So we can access to raw material. Of course, we want to come up with certain technology product that needs certain material. Otherwise, we cannot use the product. So what's most important here, apa? Maknanya we have to get the product. Maybe the product pula tu at a reasonable cost. Reasonable cost. Kan banyak certain orang nak buat macam-macam teknologi, they have to buy certain product. Certain product materials cannot access. And worse, you cannot get on. I mean, it's barrier. I mean, there are people already control their raw materials. Banyak. Ni ambil contoh dalam packaging industry. Dengan raw material, not every packaging materials we can get from here. There are in the world there are certain material only being produced from certain company. If there are people already in the market that already access to the those material, and they're not willing to they're willing to sell to other parties, so that technology new venture that you start may have a problem. Okay. So access to raw material is we cannot take one. They are business. They are already in business atau business. They start without thinking of this access to raw material. When they start business, they cannot get the raw material. That's very worse. Because there is barriers to enter into business. But we can solve in the system. You cannot simply say that raw material is can be accessed easily anywhere in the world. That is very very rough estimation. Otherwise, you may have a problem later on. Okay, two factors contribute to the entry of barriers. Okay, cost inefficiency due to lack of experience. Okay, so whatever it is, skill, knowledge, whatever experience, very important. To make the what you call it, the organization more competitive, and you can reduce product at the cost efficient, more efficient. The chances you be more competitive. You may have what we call it, you have more advantages than the competitors. So cost efficiency is very important because people will expect that you can sell product at the most reasonable cost. The most cost when you be able to reduce your cost at a lower, at lower price, at lower cost, meaning you can be competitive. I think it's true about it. Mana kalau kita buat produk dengan cost yang rendah, that means then they see that you're going to be more efficient for those actions. If you are more efficient, that means chances easily for you to enter the battery. If not, there is barrier for you. If you produce bad produce inefficiently, then of course you be more, or you have a trouble of that. Okay. All right. So some of these barriers, normally industry, these barriers as industry develop. When the industry developing, so we know that setengah industri tu kata contohnya those supply raw material, dia more be supply is just dia punya kilang banyak. That means the chances is no longer the barriers. Or the channel like today easily everybody like you can easily use other platform to sell your product. It depends on in the industry. And the truth is we have to know what is the development of the industry. Okay? So I think we have done our part on the anti barriers. Okay. So before we move to another topic, I think next topic ni next topic kita talk about this first lah. Okay. So whatever it is for you to start when someone want to start in the business, of course they want to ensure that the business survive. So and of course kita tengok there are so many things, even barriers or risk involved. So one of the ways, or one of the ways to start the business to minimize the cost, to less to minimize the risk. Is to consider uh, incubators. Considering business incubators to increase the chance for new venture survival. What do you mean by business incubators? Di ITM pun ada business incubators, bawa apa dipanggil, bawa MDEC, betul kan MDEC? Tak ingat, ada satu, kalau dalam campus UiTM tu ada satu tempat dia akan bagi business incubators. Even di Malaysia ni banyak lah business incubators. Di Siring pun ada, di Bank Pembangunan pun ada business incubator, Mara pun ada business incubator. Okay, what is business incubator? Business incubator means a facility, ada facilities with adaptable space that new venture can list on a flexible terms and at reduced risk. Macam Pembangunan pun ada buat incubator dia. Jadi, okay. What is the purpose of incubator? The purpose of incubator in the early stage of new venture is to increase the chance of survival when you start business. Maknanya dia buat macam kalau setengah dalam bentuk fizikal, selalunya ada dia bagi satu komplek. There's komplek, the incubator, where dalam incubators ni apa yang dia offer. Business incubators ni offer financial. Kalau incubator Mara, dia ada bagi kewangan, managerial, technical and business support services which are available on sharing basis. Incubator. Pelanggan pun ada buat incubator dalam bentuk ni lah. Ni. Ada semua. Most incubators limit the time for new venture kebanyakan. Tapi you cannot stay dalam incubator ni for so long. They give you a very short because untuk survive dulu. Because when you go for incubators, sometimes dia punya incubator punya cost is minimum and you can easily get support lah. Support when you don't have money, there is mungkin those agency yang provide those incubators. They have they can finance your project, or they can give whatever support services to make the business successful. So most incubators limit the time for new ventures, occupying space in the ranging from 2 to 5 years. Incubators, the business incubator. So with that, before we move to another topic, kita rehat sekejap. 11.55, biasa 10 minit kita rehat kan? Boleh? 10 minit kan?
Boleh.
10 minit kita rehat sekejap. And then when we come back, kita datang balik pukul 12. 5 minit to finish our topic today. Okay? Okay, group. Saya tutup sekejap di punya. Kita come back 10 minit lagi. 10 minutes enough lah. Okay, kita sebelah dia. Yeah, so let's get back to our class. Yes. Mother, hello everybody. Ada?
Ada.
Yeah. Okay, let's start. Let's continue to understand more about the life cycle of the technology. Yeah, because it helps us to make the technology product more successful. Okay. So understanding the technology life cycle. Kita tengok nanti. Yes, okay, technology life cycle. So, and you will know that kenapa kita kena faham. So the idea, of course, when you develop this cycle, so that means you can manage your technology venture more efficiently, more effectively. And that's why we have to understand. Okay. So as you know, the performance of technology and product, normally they have a what we call it a pattern, recognized pattern over time. Okay. If kita properly understood the pattern, we understood what is the pattern kita discuss tadi lah. What is the pattern? If we really understood the pattern, we properly understood this pattern, it will be helpful. Can be very helpful in the strategic planning process of the technology. Help you lah to plan strategically about the business. So we know, let's say, at this what position, what stage, how you going to react, or what you going to plan, to minimize the risk, or to capitalize the what you call it, the opportunities, whatever lah. So in other words, to understand the pattern, the pattern, it will help us, help you lah. When you want to plan, your strategic planning, when you plan your strategic management, whatever lah, of your ventures. Thus, managing ventures require deep understanding of the cycle, deep understanding of the life cycle of the energy product and process. So, all right, and a new technical rate performance improvement is dependent on the effort. The rate of improvement is dependent on the effort, such as R&D devoted to energy. So the performance of the whether it's improvement or down, it depends on your R&D. So a new technology may have higher limit of performance for the same parameter and may replace the older technology at certain period. The technology, you may have a certain standard of performance as compared to the old technology. Okay. So the technological life cycle. So different from product performance, technology performance line. And when you want to express technology performance, is expressed in terms of attribute, such as what density in electronic industry, for example, number of transistors. Ada certain technology we express the performance in terms of speed in mind. Contoh lah, speed in mind or kilometer per hour. Ada certain in terms of consumption. Kereta tu performance ada orang judge because of their consumption or fuel consumption. There are many ways lah. Okay. So the technology become vulnerable to substitution. So always we cannot say that we cannot be what we call it, kita panggil selesa lah, complacent with our technology, because the technology always subject to vulnerable to substitution or obsolete whenever new by technology. Mana dia akan terdedah kepada benda-benda ni, subject kepada anytime when the new technology come, the technology that we make it before is going to be obsolete or whatever, or they will be replaced. They'll be replaced by the new technology. Okay. Okay, this satu daripada effort has been addressed by nama ni apa, Tarik berkali-kali Tarik Khalil, to manage technology. We have to understand we have to understand this pattern, pattern. The technology performance, parameters here, and of course, as the time goes by, the performance of what technology that you develop is going to undergo this cycle ataupun phases, phase to phase, phase to phase. Okay. Dia punya ni. Okay. Kalau kita tengok okay, according to tarik lah, the S curve, the cycle they are going to the S curve nya ni lah, S curve nya progress. Dia tarik ni dalam buku dia ni, Management of Technology, dia orang pakai bunyi semua ni. Dia guna dipakai apa to show the performance tadi, to show the performance tadi, dia will go through the S curve, macam S ni kot, like S, that's why dia panggil S curve. And okay, S curve, kalau kita tengok tadi tu ada beberapa ni. The stages of this technology cycle, they will go under beberapa stages. It look like here ada macam 4 stages, or the big one is 3 stages lah. The first stages is what? Dia punya ni 3 stages lah. 3 stages of what? In technology life cycle, which is start from what? From embryonic, dipanggil embryonic. Nampak kan ni semua ni? Hello, can see that? This one, the cycle.
Nampak.
S ke? Nampak macam S kan? Dia buat S lah tu, nak bagi dia, nak kena dia punya pattern nama. Okay. The progress through the 3 stage life cycle. Just whatever technology yang you develop, and the new one is going to this. After more like develop. From the stage 1 is what? Embryonic. The period 1, embryonic stage. Second stage, kita bagi apa tu? Growth. Which is of course the embryonic phase. The new invention is what? Embryonic stage. Second what apa? Technology improvement period. Teknologi dia ada, there's improvement there. Lalu teknologi selalunya tak ada improvement lagi. When they go this, there's what we call it, panggil ini growth stage. And then the third stage, third stage dia panggil the matured technology period, which is the maturity stage. So, ini kita tengok lah dia punya ni stagesnya. Ini 3 stages. The teknologi, ni kita nak ukur teknologi. Ambil contoh tadi lah. Kalau teknologi tu yang kita develop produk, dia go for speed. Mungkin yang kita tak ada mula space dia boleh first embryonic. And then they go to the speed mungkin better lagi, and the improvement, and the sampai habiskan the speed that we develop certain product dia, there's no longer good space. This is going to be absolute. So understand this begini. So we may realize after we reach certain level, so we cannot go on again. We have to come up with new technology. It goes back to the first maybe the first stage 1 and go again. I need the understanding of the cycle, understanding of the stages in that. Okay, so like I mentioned, the first stage of the technical cycle, that's the technology have to go through, whatever technology, and that is the panggil embryonic stage. That is the new invention period. The second one is what the technology improvement period, kalau ikut figure tadi, to the growth stage and the one. Okay, so the new invention period ataupun kita panggil embryonic stage, embryo lagi, stage tu is characterized by enhance. At this stage, kalau kita report ni, selalunya whatever product lah, teknologi, bukan produk, kita buat teknologi ni yang itu dulu, normally dia characterized by slow initial growth. This because implementation and initial problem are work out of the system initially, because still product technology go under experiment lagi, walaupun we have undergo the test marketing. Still they talk about the technology, they undergo experimentation And initial problem I will come out of the system. Karena sebenarnya need they have a problem, then they are going to experiment. We have to make a little bit changes lah, whatever. Oh, okay. This I can say. How long it depends on the product. It can be very short, it can be very long. It talk about the period. So kita tengok tadi ada stage 1. Kita panggil apa? Embroidery. The second stage kita panggil apa ni? Growth stage, which is technology improvement period. So the technology improvement is characterized by what? Is characterized by rapid and sustained growth. Kalau ada technology, there will be people use more. There will be what? The growth will be very fast. At that time. The growth of this technology. I mean, people may use that, may demand that technology at that time. Initially, people do not know about it. There is only inception, introduction of the product. Okay, there is a growth stage. Then, of course, the next one what? Okay, yeah. The next one we call it maturity, technology period, technology mature period. So the mature the technology they will reach this stage, the period. The maturity period start when the upper limit of technology is approached and progress in performance slow down. We talk about performance tadi. Let's say at one time mungkin certain speed very good already, but when it is certain already when this certain period is no longer good. The performance is very poor. So poor the technology that we develop. That's why it happened that technology they have to be replaced by the new technology. Okay, this occurs when the technology reaches its limit. Okay, that is maturity skill. Okay. It depends on the technology, but sometimes the technology is very fast. So they mature very fast. That's why they come up with a new technology and come go again, improve and come to mature and come back get new technology. So the cycle they are to cycle. So if you keep on you at the level certain technology without at maturity stage, we go on introduce your product. But in that case, of course, we may be behind others lah. Or you cannot compete anymore because you are using the same technology. Okay? The technology at that maturity stage or mature period become vulnerable when technology takes place. So we keep on using. At that time, when technology takes place or when technology become obsolete, that is better when new technology emerges. So we have to go back. Yeah. So when we reach the certain technology reach this one, and the performance. The performance reach the mature. That's why better new technology should emerge. So investment, if you invest in the ongoing technology at this stage, maybe the technology is really at mature stage, you keep on spending money doing something, come up with product with the old technology that is already their performance is very poor. I mean, it's going to be very risky. At this stage, maybe riskier, even though some may try in the decline stage. Other still may try. But there are cases it's already risky because you are using, in that case, we use the old technology. The technology when they already reach the period, the peak period or the saturated period. Saturated period. Saturated already. Yeah? Okay. Okay, that is different case. We talk about what? We talk about we talk about technology performance parameters at the time. As the times go by and the technology also they undergo different cycle using this. As mentioned by Tariq, they have a S-curve of technological progress. Okay, so right. Okay, so we have done. Okay. Okay, so all right. In commercializing new technology or product, one must identify the stage of technology in its life cycle. Okay, so maknanya itu commercialize new technology. So we have what? We have to identify the stage of technology. So nak commercialize, kita kena understand. And we have to understand what stage of technology in our life cycle. Okay. Contoh dia, if the technology is still under development stage, technology yang kita develop still under development stage, kalau kita understand, we have to understand the cycle lah. Okay, when we understand I mean, for example, if the technology under development stage and has no real income, income policy value, and the technology is not being marketed, the technology stay on the shelf, then there will be no return, provide no return. So when the technology reaches the market it generates. Then when the technology reaches the market, so that's why we have to understand that what we call it the cycle, technology life cycle. But in this time, the cycle that relate to the performance technology. Now we talk about the technology life cycle (TLC) versus and the market. We talk about the market because that is very important. So what is important because they want to ensure that the technology reaches the market. So that at that time the market will generate income. Okay. Then of course the entrepreneur lah will generate income. Okay. And if you see the cycle, there should be a diagram. Tapi dalam slide yang saya dapat ni tak ada diagram. I will show the other diagram to you. Mungkin you boleh lukis sendiri lah. Okay. If you see the, we talk about the technology market life cycle. Yang tadi apa? Tadi different. We talk about technology performance life cycle. Technology performance life cycle. Then we talk about technology market life cycle. As the technology develops along with the recognized technology life cycle, the technology begins to penetrate market. Okay, when we masuk at early stage, maybe the market is not known yet about the product, but as the technology go into and penetrate into the market, of course it will experience the growth. It will experience the growth. So we can see that the corresponding market growth phases, there are, six stages or 6 phases of what we call it technology and market life cycle, and expressed in terms of volume or sales or profit, whatever lah. Okay. So, alright. So kita tengok ni, there are apa? Over the time, the technology will experience 6 phases of market life cycle. This is what we are supposed to understand. We're supposed to understand when you want to manage the technology, especially when you want to what? Of course, you want to gain to generate income, and you to generate income. So you have to understand at what stage, what stage that is best to get the income. Okay. Here we go one by one about this. Over the time, you will experience the technology wise will experience 6 phases of market life cycle. The first stage we talk about technology life, technology development phase, and next stage, the technology will go to the next phase, application launch, they name it, and the next phase, application growth, and then we go to the next phase is maturity, mature growth, and of course, the next substitution growth, and of course, the next part is the last stage, what technology obsolescence. If I want to make a comparison, about the yang kita bincang dulu, I talk about the technology life cycle in terms of performance, and this technology life cycle in terms of market. If you will understand under the 3 stages of what tadi yang kita bincang, technology life cycle in terms of performance, and the first stage is embryonic. Remember embryonic. So if you want to compare here, these two, technology development phase and application launch phase, in fact fall under this embryonic stage. Technology development phase and application launch, in fact fall under this embryonic. So application growth scale is similar to growth stage under the parameter, and the last 3, technology mature phase and technology substitution phase and technology substitution phase is fall under maturity. So that is you want to make the comparison to understand how this technology market life cycle phases fit with this technology life cycles performance in terms of performance. Okay. Kalau kita tengok, saya kena share juga lah dia punya. Sekejap lah, saya buka yang diagram to show, then I will go discuss. Ini diagram ni kalau boleh you draw sendiri lah, you ambil tu lukis sendiri. Baiknya saya pergi Saya pergi ni. Dia tak boleh buka dulu. Ada mana satu saya kena pada dulu. Wait. Wait. This one. Wait. Sekejap. Saya tunjuk dia punya material lagi. Okay. Wait. Tunjuk. Okay. Okay, share. Okay, you can see the new slide now, kan? Everybody, boleh nampak? Okay, S-curve yang kita bincang tadi is the performance of technology progress. So very important, if we understand it, we can utilize it to plan strategically, to plan the technology in a strategic way. Okay. Hello, boleh nampak tak this one? Yang baru. Yang apa? S-curve ni.
Nampak sure.
Cuba dibaca, boleh tak? Performance, S-curve kan? Terus. Okay, Alright, so what I want to show you here. Not this one. This one. Dalam ni tak ada, yang ni dah ada dah diagram. Yang ni dah this one I already show you. Dalam live ni dia punya ni teknologi disaster S-curve ni para teknologi performance meter go through the three stages of life cycle. And of course kalau kita tengok this one, the next topic that kita discuss, we discuss about this one. Dia ni. Okay. So for time being you boleh tengok lah. Boleh you draw lah ni. Masuk hello group. Sebab tak ada dalam slide ni. Yang ni you kena draw. Okay, boleh draw tak? Nanti saya akan saya ambil kertas sikit draw this one ni. So kita akan discuss ni pula. Technology life cycle and market growth. Market growth. So market growth at different stages. So first one, A ni stand for technological development stage. The B one is application launch, and C growth, and D mature technology. Semua dah draw dah. Then you always can refer lah when we discuss the topic. You can refer to this diagram ataupun figure, this figure lah. Okay. This figure, this also, this figure also is by ni Khalid lah, by Tarik Khalid, sama same author tadi. And if you want to read the book, you can read the book. Tapi lama dah book lah, Management of Technology, the Communist semua. Okay, semua dah itu lah. Everybody dah itu lah. Bear in mind when I mentioned about the stage one, of course I'm referring the technology development phase A. You can visualize on your own. Hello group, boleh Boleh okay, dah ada dah. So kita nampak that is how the group. Dia bukan macam S-curve tadi. Ini dah jadi macam normal curve pula. It look like normal curve. Okay. So we go back to our previous slide. And saya keluarkan slide ni. Right, so alright, this one. Okay. And now, okay. Okay, dibagi A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, kita ada F. Warna 6 lah. 6 apa? 6 phases. 6 stages. 6 stages of stages sama lah. 6 phases of 6 stages of market life cycle. Okay, let's talk about the first. So how the technology will experience this process of the market growth. Yang punya market growth. Okay, the first stage we talk about what? Apa ni? That is group. Kalau tengok refer pada you punya figure diagram saya tunjuk tadi, that is what that is A tadi, that is what the first stage lah. Stage 1, the A growth the first stage lah. That technology development phase. So at that stage or that technology development phase, the market does not recognize the technology wrong. And of course, when it start beginning, the technology will start very, very slow start. People do not know about it. Okay, during this time, the researchers, innovators, you have to put more effort. You are putting much effort and utilizing significant amounts of resources to create the technology, because and develop prototype and testing level. So normally when you develop something at this stage, which is no technology at all, you have to create on your own. Okay, so it's going to be much costly to create something. So during this period, revenue is not generated. When you that's not, you do not market yet. It's still in the process of developing technology. So that's why there's a time period you have to provide certain budget. Because when the time you still under development, still under the like you only spend money. So the didn't spend, revenue is not generated. Wherever possible, time is this phase has been done. So in order to not to, spend too much, that's why certain organization they try to what? They try to make it very fast, but of course get the output, the output very good. Like we have seen today, like the one that people try to develop new vaccine, COVID new vaccine. Typical way of developing vaccine, it takes or the biotech biotech technology, it takes 10 years. But of course, because the time is asking for it for the period, then it takes now is very short term. In fact, to the innovators, they have advantage of reducing the cost as much as possible when they can spend less time to develop the product or to develop the technology. So even though at this time, of course, the market, the product is not yet in the market. Of course, this time they only just spend. So, but however, we thought during this period, revenue is not yet generated, and wherever possible time is spent, this has to be reduced possible. Because the longer you spend, of course, the longer you have to spend for you to get the output. Okay, that is a part of the first stage. The second stage of the technology life cycle and the market growth, right, is what we call it application launch stage. Application launch stage. This is a phase or this stage where the technology is launched on the market or the new product. The new product or process is launched. Okay, and once the new technology is launched, the market volume will pick up. So the demand, people will buy the product. We pick up with the path of the technological progress. And of course, as this stage, as you look to the diagram, there will be slow beginning and starting slow, and the growth will be rapid after all, and they're going to be followed by the rapid growth. And this application launch. That is if you can see the picture is going to be under B. Okay, there's the next part is called the next stage. We call it application growth. Application growth phase. That is the third stage. So in the application growth phase, the technology application will begin to penetrate. So it is technology for everyone we're going to be penetrate or go deep into the market. So right. And with the path of the technology progress. Okay, so that is what I call it this what kita panggil apa? The growth stage, maknanya during the growth phase of technology penetration strategy in the market, we depend on the rate of innovation. So the extent of penetration of the into the market will depend on the rate of innovation and the market needs of the technology. So how the market will grow, it depends. How you can penetrate the market, how to what extent, and is there a need of your product or the new technology. Okay, that is the growth stage. So you can see this can be assumed that it's more demand for the product. Okay, that is the growth stage. Okay, for the new technology or new product. Okay. Okay, and of course, like at the stage one before we mentioned the technology, the product will come to the stage of maturity. So this stage, we call it the technology mature phase, the market growth rate slow down. There will be less demand about it. Why? As the technology approaches its market security, at this time the market may reach a peak and start to decline. Okay. So there will be less demand. Maybe people certain product there already so many choices already about the product. Okay. So we can expect that the same technology will undergo the third phase and we reach at this stage. We call it the maturity phase. Okay. So that's another stage E or another word. The fifth stage, phase of the life cycle or technology. Yeah. So the market now is different. The technology subsequent phase is characterized by declining market value. There will be less demand of the technology because the technology now is faced with a big substitute by a new technology. So the research stage, of course, the next stage is going to be substitute. There is new technology coming up. And if someone keep on utilize the old energy, of course, they are going to experience less decline in business, of course, market share and revenue. So there's no way. That's why they keep on developing new technology, like we have seen the proton or the other. They keep on coming out with the new technology, and then go back to the initial stage and experience the second stage, third stage, and come back to the new stage. Okay. And of course, this is the worst part. Of course, this is what we call it. The last stage is what technology obsolescence phase. In the technology phase, the technology application has become obsolete. There's technology it become obsolete and has no or has little or no value at all. So if the technology obsolete and the innovator they go to try to go into the business, but they're using the obsolete technology, so it's not going to be attractive. They may spend money for the product which is not acceptable or accepting to the market. Okay. This. So remember, that is what we know. So so remember that is what the TLC. So as I told you before, we want to make a comparison. Before okay. Dia punya ni okay. So the technology the technology life cycles, the technology performance, I can say performance. The technology performance life cycle that we have discussed before, the stages is only what 3, and here when we talk about the technology market life cycle phases, our stage is 6. So we want to make a comparison. This technology development phase and application launch phase, in fact, is similar to those first stage of technology performance, technology performance phases, which is embryonic. The what we call it, the application growth, of course, under the growth stage, and these 3 is what under the maturity stage. Okay. Right. So, okay. Right. So Okay, the question is here, okay, how can you prolong the growth stage or to reduce? How can you prolong the stage from declining? Mana you nak prolong or the growth stage of a particular product or technology from declining its market performance? And how you going to do more? To prolong the growth stage or to rejuvenate a particular product or technology from declining in its market performance. Talk about that is market performance. So the idea is, yeah, of course, the being entrepreneur, you have to carry out a rigorous innovation process. That's why you're in the process. So you have to do innovate again and again, and so that your technology or your product demand could be revitalized. Revitalized. Okay. So Indonesia ni tentang pasal R&D ni banyak agensi yang involved. Oh, yang saya nak mention tadi, kalau di ITN tu kita ada building used also as incubator. They call it that buildings invested by MTDC, Malaysian Technology Development Corporation. But not only in UiTM, but they set up the incubator center to help those especially new ventures go for the spin off lah. And then because there are fund available normally to help those new ventures. Okay, itulah we talk about what. So see how important the cycle, because as I mentioned here, we have to understand the technology cycle, and that's very important to understand, because understanding the cycle is very important. Understand that help you to plan apa? To plan your organization and you plan your company strategically. Okay, so otherwise you will be left behind with the progress of technology, and of course it may involve cost for unnecessary. It may cost unnecessary to develop technology which is already obsolete. So, example, if you notice, if you already understand the situation. So okay, right. And of course, at this stage, when you look about the technology obsolete, this the value is nothing, because when the technology is already obsolete, meaning that the value of your product is null. It's null. But if still if you go this under technology, old technology that is still which have a fall in the market, but if you still using, the chances the market is getting down and down, because because people always can substitute. At that time it's already undergo the maturity period. But you can use this if you use the technology under mature. So this you will expect slow growing until the volume of market will speak and start to drop. Okay. And of course, kalau ni this is the best part sebenarnya. Okay. If you be able to you capitalize this stage, dipanggil application growth. This is the time to penetrate the market. It depends on the innovation rate and the demand is great at this time. But of course, at this time, the growth is very even at this time is good enough. Because the growth slow, but after period during this stage, the market is going to grow rapidly. And of course, this effort yang technology development phase is not recognized, but it's going to be costly if you keep on developing product and then do not come up with a product to be commercialized. And after you have gone through the new product development process, you cannot remain being a new product development, but of course to commercialize, you mean that you want to exploit the product to go for to generate income, generate revenue. Okay. It's already 12:50. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask me. Ada soalan? Okay, so I will share with you this note after this. And of course, diagram saya tak ada, tapi you have your own, you dah ambil. You draw on your own lah. Ini ada dia punya, ada diagram. I think it's best to have the drawing lah on your own. Okay. Ingat, hello? Boleh kita 12:50 dah. 12:50, we can stop here. Saya ada lagi tak? Hilang dah. Hello?
Ya. Boleh.
Boleh sir.
Okay. Okay, we finish our minute. So we go to the next time. Kita go to other topic lah. Kita punya kelas sekali bila? 24 bulan ke berapa tu? 3 hari. Sebab dalam you punya report NPD tu, you kena bisa report kan, you kena present kan, dia tulis dalam tu dia kena present. Kena present kalau boleh kelas lab mana buat arrangement lah. Bila nanti kita lepas habis kelas semua lah. Habis kelas selesai, kelas sesi next. After kita dah selesai kelas, ini dan kita buat online punya presentation for the group. About NPD dengan blueprint. Kita nak kacau, kita finish punya kelas dulu. And then baru kita buat presentation. Okay, dah ada pun. So saya rasa kalau I leave it to the group and your presentation pula biasa you buat cara mana pakai ni lah, pakai macam saya punya ni lah, online your group, so you all lagi familiar kan. Macam mana you buat presentation? Slide presentation ni pakai apa? Slide presentation ni pakai apa? Ya.
Record.
Tak, kalau online ni macam mana?
Tak pernah lagi. So, selalu kita orang record.
Kita orang kena record je.
Record je. Dia bagi HTML secara record. Kalau record macam mana? Record.
Nanti kita orang bagi video tu.
Video. Okay. So you bukan gitu. Okay. Boleh juga record ke video. Tapi kalau live boleh possible tak live? Live boleh juga kan possible. Kalau ada sesi kan, kalau kita tengok pada masa after we have finished ni, kalau dah habis dah cover, we have time, so you boleh live ni lah. Apa tu record kita, tapi you boleh live record ni saya kenal you all semua lah. Langsung tak nampak muka, tak tahu macam mana.
Live tak sempat. Live tak sempat.
Kenapa tak sempat? Tak possible.
Banyak orang.
Ramai orang tak? Kalau kita cuba buat estimation how many group that we have, tak apa, kita cuba itu. Tu second alternative. First alternative lah, second alternative, you punya record tu itu. Mana kalau live, then you present dalam the most 20 minit je, 20 minit, because you are in control. You are in control of your presentation. Apa lagi? You pakai slide apa you pakai kali? Google, kalau ikut anak saya kata dia pakai Google Slide. Memang dia selalu present gitu. Google Slide kan. Google Slide hanya you boleh share kan, you bersama. You selalu pakai Google Slide kan? Pakai kan?
Tak.
Tak pakai? Tak pernah?
Tak pakai.
Pakai PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. Dia kata canggih sekarang, dia kata pakai Google Slide. Jadi the same slide you share, you boleh edit, you boleh apa semua kan. Itu selalu gambar sekarang ni. Apalah kita tengok, boleh bincang lagi. Okay, whatever it is, sama ada you ambil gambar tu ataupun ni. Okay. Sebab kalau tidak pun, kalau ambil gambar pun, tengoklah macam mana kita jumpa sekejap online tu. Okay, whatever it is, hari ni kita start dulu. Mungkin ada apa cadangan lagi lah in between. Okay, I'm very flexible lah. Okay, with that, I think that's all for today. Jadi kita habiskan kita punya hari ni punya kelas kan. Kelas dengan ni lah, dengan doa kita hari ni, doa kafarah. Subhanakallahumma hamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal 'asr innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa 'amilus solihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw soal. Okay. See you next week, ya. Next week, next week, come on next week lagi. Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Doktor. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Doktor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doktor.
You.
Love you.
Okay.
Thank you, Doktor.
Okay, saya.
Thank you, sir. Semoga sihat selalu.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay, alhamdulillah. Doakan saya sihat.